Hi and welcome to my house. This is a picture from 2021 and a little bit of video that I found on my phone right when we bought the house. I wanted to show you a video from 2022 coming up here in a second that I found showing some of the changes I made to the garden 2 years ago, almost to the day. In case you're curious what it's looked like over time, this was the biggest change I made kind of in that first year of owning the house before the extreme construction began, and I kind of lost a bit of access to the yard and to my ability to water the yard and things like that. So we planted a whole bunch of bulbs that very first fall 2021, and this is spring 2022 when they're all starting to come up for the very first time. We still have some of those bulbs, the ones that are long lasting, some of the daffodils, things like that. I also planted crimson clover for the first time to sort of cover the bare dirt so I wouldn't get too many weeds in here. So that's what all that sea of green is there. Crimson clover cover crop. I also put all of these red pots along the front to act as sort of a wall. I couldn't find anyone to help me build a wall at the time. And the garden guy came and made an edge in the grass for me, so I had a nice clean edge. And yeah, a lot of these plants I found on clearance in the fall, and stuck them in the ground to see if they would live through the winter, and they did. I see some candy tuft tucked in there. Here's some fun tulips. I love lily flowering tulips. And then we can look up and see kind of across the sea of crimson clover. And then there's a couple grow bags of bulbs that I found in the ground that I was sort of trying to save. There are some things that are going over a bit, and I tucked them over by the house. We're standing underneath the camellia right now, and look at all that grass I used to have. I have pretty much no grass anymore, and I absolutely loved this wooden planter, and so did a lot of the neighbors in this neighborhood. They commented on it, and I did basically the lasagna method, right, where you layer many, many layers of bulbs, daffodils, tulips, anemones, things like that. Turned out beautifully. So you can see that the camellia is in about the same state as it is now, sort of letting all the petals fall. And the rhododendron hasn't bloomed yet. So here we are coming back across the yard. I've tucked some pots of bulbs in there that I had planted in the fall, and I'm sort of bringing them out as they're starting to bloom. I see some hellebores and some fritillaria there. Yeah, I love that purple fritillaria there. And a hydrangea, some muscari. There's a pot of daffodils. And then here is the corner bed with the bench. The bench was pretty much brand new at this point, and I've laid out a bunch of plants I'm going to put in this little corner bed here that used to be grass. So that pot we dug up, it was in the ground buried for some reason. We dug it out and pulled it out here and put some things in it on display. So there is all the work I had to do to get this corner bed planted. We used to have this Barbie pink azalea there in 2022, and it pretty much died, I think, from lack of water. It's a stump now. So here we are in 2024. If you've already watched my video from yesterday, this might be redundant to you, but there's my greenhouse almost finished painting. On the left side, you can see that there's still some masking on the windows and a ladder up, but they are getting closer. You can also see the new fence. It makes a big difference. And I still have a lot of work to do on these beds, but it's kind of nice to look back and see what's changed. I added the benches here. I added the pathways weren't there 2 years ago. Those boxwoods weren't there. All these wildflowers weren't here. And all that pathway along the street, that was all just grass. And now we get to enjoy some wildflowers. This fence wasn't here. It was just a patch of grass. The arbor wasn't there. That bench wasn't there. So I've really done quite a bit of work. This corner bed was just grass. It was all connected in one long curb. I guess the pictures in 2022 were just dirt because I was starting to try to convert it. And then I don't have any water right there next to the sidewalk, so I have some sedum planted. I'm going to plant some other drought tolerant things. There is the plan. And there's the other pathway I put in. That wasn't there a couple years ago in the bench. And then I still have a lot of my red pots in here. I can't wait to plant more things in this bed. You can definitely see through a bit better now that taller fence with the ivy growing on it is gone. And this was just a pile of dirt 2 years ago. So even though it's nowhere near what I would like it to be, it's fun to kind of look back and see the change over time. Here is my catmint starting to develop into nice little bushes. And I've added some rocks into this space to just sort of make it look a little bit more naturalistic. I just pulled those rocks from other places in the landscape. Let's see, one more look into the yard here. I definitely have some pots to fill, and I have some ground cover to plant. It looks like the daffodils are almost done in those pots too, so I'll be able to put some pretty new things in those front planters. I can't wait for that peony to bloom, and I can't wait to plant some seeds in that dirt now that I have a watering system that's working. So you will be able to see here that the door is now painted black. It looks better than the weird green color, and we are getting so close to having our painting done. Can't wait to show you that rhododendron in bloom. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.
Hang out with me. Find yourself in Candle's greenhouse.